All right, good morning, everybody. We're gonna start with our toe lifts. So, and if you use a watch, go ahead and start your watch at 8, 7, 4, 3, heels up, right then left, right and left. So rolling through that foot, starting to stretch out the bottom of your foot and also wake up your ankles. 4, 3, right leg, we're gonna swing it front to back. So nice and tall. And if you need to, hold on to something for a little support. But we're starting to wake up our standing leg, wake up our core, and then we're working on mobility in that hip. Good, switching sides, front and back. So nice and tall. Does not have to be a really big swing. You can just do heel front and toe back. Good, 4, 3, switch it to the other side, out and tap. So try to come to the midline of the body. And then if you're able to, if your hip is good, you can try to take it a little bit farther. 2, switch it to the other leg. So out and in. And as always, you can just tap and tap. We're just working on out and in, abduction, adduction, lift, cross. 2, switching sides, hip circles, heel down, toe up. Think about moving from your hip. The rest of the leg just follows along. Change direction. 4, 3, switch it to the other leg. So heel down, toe up. Toes are pointing forwards. 4, 3, switch it other direction, out and circle. 4, 3, slow deadlift right in the center. Hinge it forwards. Stand up nice and tall. So we want to think about what our spine is doing. If we feel this in our low back, it's because you're using your low back to pull instead of your glutes. So hinge, 2, lift, 2. Good, 2 more. Hinge it forwards. Stand up nice and tall. Good, all the way up. Slow squat. Drop the hips to the heels. Stand up nice and tall. So drop, 2, push, 2. Same rules apply. We want to think about that braced core, a little bit of a tail feather tuck. You are going to hinge it back, and then we're going to try to sit. So hinge it back, bend the hips, knees, and ankles. Hinge, sit, and tall. Hinge, sit. Forward step and reach. Forward step. Pull it back. Squeeze the shoulders. I like to try to get my arms close to parallel to the floor. 3, 2. All right, we're gonna add the rotation. Take it forwards, open, close, and step it back. Other side, take it forward, a little deeper, open, close, and back a little faster. So forward, open, close, together. Try to drop that back knee down towards the floor. Lower, open, close, back. Good side lunge. Step it out to the side, hold it in place. Good, 4, 3, 2, hold it in the center, cat-cow. Inhale, exhale. This is where we start to work on a little pelvic control and a little spine control. In and out. So think about tail feathers back, tuck your tail. So tail feathers back, tuck it under. I feel this, not in my low back, but really feel this kind of at the top of my pelvis. Last one. Good, we're gonna take it down into a plank. So you can step it back, you can walk it out, you can put your hands on a chair. We're gonna hold your plank. We're just gonna wake up the core, wake up those hips, wake up the shoulders and wrists. Now lift it up to down dog, back to plank, down dog, back to plank, down dog, back to plank, down dog. Good, just a couple more. Down, forward, one more. All right, here's your challenge for today. Can you step your right foot forward by your hand? Just hold it for a moment. Runner's lunge. Step it back. Other side, left foot forward. You don't have to drop the knee to the floor, but you can. 4, 3, 2, step it back. Walk it all the way back up to standing, however you would like to. Roll it all the way up, come back into the center. We're gonna go for our heel stomps or your mini jumps. 8, 7, 4, 3, march it out, shake it out, roll the shoulders up, back, and down. Grab a quick drink of water. So today we have our Tabatas, 20 seconds work, 10 seconds rest, 2 exercises, 4 rounds of each, alternating AB, AB. 3 rounds are standing, 3 rounds are down on the floor. If you don't want to go to the floor, there are always options and modifications. Just know some of them are easier to do if you have a band or if you have a chair. So our first one is going to be 1 squat, 1 lunge. 1 squat, 1 lunge. Second exercise, bicep curls. We're keeping it really simple today. It's 20 seconds work. And I know my legs are already feeling tired today, so we're gonna see how it goes. They're not sore, they're just tired. They're like, we wanna sit. We're gonna sit today, I don't know, we'll see what happens. We're gonna do 1 squat, 1 lunge. If you wanna do 2 rounds right, 2 rounds left, you can, or if you wanna alternate your lunges, that's okay too. Same for the curls. 20 seconds in 3, 2, and 1. So we're nice and tall. 1 squat, 1 lunge. 1 squat, 1 lunge. I'm gonna go ahead and alternate today, and I'm only gonna get about 4 lunges each round. 3, 2, and 1. Standing nice and tall. Bicep curls. So shoulders down and back, soft knees. I'm gonna turn my palms facing forwards right here. So curl and down, curl and down. So we're just thinking about bringing our hands right to the front of our shoulder. Nice, good curls. So we're thinking about picking something up. Good, rest. So if you gotta pick something up to carry it. Those are our 2 exercises. We're gonna go back for a 1 squat, 1 lunge. Here we go. So squat it down, step it back and lunge. Good squat. Chest stays lifted on our squats. I know sometimes we push our hips back, we squat, and then we start to bring our upper body really far down. Chest stays tall. 2 and 1. Good, bicep curls. You need to set the dumbbells down in the middle just for a moment. Go right ahead. Here we go. So curl it up and then bring it down. Curl it up, bring it down. So just nice, good lift. Elbows stay pointing down towards the floor. Sometimes we lift and then we pop that elbow up. I want you to keep your elbow pointing down to the floor. Good, rest. Fingernails are just coming to your shoulder. Or squeeze an orange right between your forearm and your bicep. Squat lunge, here we go. So squat it down, stand tall, lunge it back. Squat and lunge. So this is where we think about picking up something heavy. Good, 3, 2, and 1. All right, bicep curls. I'm just gonna give my hands a little bit of a break. 4, 3, 2, and 1. I know my grip strength is awful. So, you know, my forearms, my hands get tired kind of quick. Best way to work on grip strength is to hold on to heavy things. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Got one more set. 1 squat, 1 lunge, 3, 2, and 1. So squat it down, lunge it back. So feet about hip width apart for those lunges. We do the same thing for our squats. So we don't have to keep our legs super close together. Good, 3, 2, and 1. One more set of bicep curls. Quick rest, and then we're gonna move on. Good, 3, 2, and 1. So bracing the core. Sometimes we bring our elbows in and we dig our elbows into our tummy, especially if the weight's a little bit heavy or the dumbbells get a little bit bigger. So we just want to think elbows down. 3, 2, and 1. Good. Dumbbells down. Walk around, shake it out, grab a drink if you need it. We're gonna move on. We have kickstand deadlifts, and then we have rows. So kickstand deadlift. I'm gonna do 2 dumbbells, and I'm just gonna have my 1 foot up. So supported. Nice good deadlifts. 20 seconds. In 3, 2, and 1. So kickstand deadlift. We just have that foot back, body nice and tall. So we hinge, and then we lift. So we shouldn't really feel this in our back knee because we're not squatting, we're hinging. You push that butt to the wall, reach down, pick up your socks. Good. Now you can keep your kickstand position if you want to make it a double whammy when you do your rows. Otherwise, feet hip width apart. 2, 1. Good. Hinge it forwards. Row and row. So still pulling back towards the front of your hips. If you're pulling straight up and down, it's actually a lot more bicep. So pull it a little bit back. Lead with the shoulder, drive the elbow. 2 and 1. Good. All right, kickstand deadlift. If you want to do right, left, you can. I'm going to do 2 rounds right, back to back, 2 rounds left. Good hinge. So hinge it forwards, stand up nice and tall. Weight stays in your front leg. So we don't want to push the hips back like you're going to put that back foot down. We want to keep that front leg secure. Back leg is there for support. 3, 2, and 1. Good. Getting ready for rows. Make it a little harder. Keep your kickstand a little easier. Feet hip width apart. 2. Good. Time's on. So drive and then drive. So this is a little isometric work on that leg. So it's having to hold you up, and most of your weight's in the front. 4, 3, 2, 1. Shake it out. Switching to the other side. Kickstand deadlift, or you can go back to the right leg if you chose to alternate. 2, 1. Good. So hinge it forwards. Stand up nice and tall. Keep an eye on that upper body, especially on kickstands, especially if you're doing single-sided. Sometimes we rotate our shoulder. We want to try not to. Trying to keep your torso nice and parallel to the floor. 2 and 1. Short rest, getting ready for rows. I said I can get about halfway and then my hands just start getting really fatigued. Good. Hinge it forward. Drive and drive. It can just be a little hinge forward, but you're still pulling back towards your pelvis, not up towards your armpit. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. We've got 1 more set of these. So feet hip width. A little kickstand, like your kickstand on your bike. Good. So the weight of your bike is still on your bike's tires. The kickstand is just there to kind of help you out a little bit, and that's what that back leg is just your kickstand for your bike. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good. We've got 1 more set. We're going to go for rows. 3, 2, and 1. So hinge it forward, drive it back. I am alternating today. You are welcome to do both arms at the same time. Good. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bring it in. Shake it out. Walk around. Grab a quick drink of water. Gonna move on, circuit number 3. This will be our last official standing circuit. We're gonna do curtsy lunges. Curtsy lunges. So I am gonna do stationary where I don't step. But if you wanna do the step or the alternate, go for it. Second exercise, side raises, side raises. So grab your dumbbells. If you're gonna use it, you can do one at your chest, one by your foot, or one on either side. 20 seconds in 3, 2, and 1. So we're nice and tall. And again, I'm not going to step. I am just gonna hold my curtsy position. This is a little bit different than what we normally do. So if this doesn't feel good for you, do a more traditional curtsy lunge. Good, 3, 2, and 1. All right, side raises, side raises. Here's 2 and 1. So a little bit of a soft knee bend. So I soften my knees, I tuck my tail under. So I try not to lean, and I try not to, really arch my back on these. Here's 4, 3, 2, and 1. Going back for curtsies. Again, alternating. 2 rounds right, 2 rounds left. Your choice, 2 and 1. Good. So I cross, and then I'm just gonna hold it. And notice I'm not turning my upper body towards the corner. I'm trying to keep them pointing forwards. It's a little bit of a different position. Your knees may or may not like this. Good. 3, 2, and 1. Good. Going back for side raises. Remember, if your knees don't like that one, try it without body weight. 2, 1. Good. Try adjusting your leg position. For the shoulders, I do scapular raises, so I don't come straight out to the side. I kind of have a little bit of a bigger lift, a wide lift, but a little bit forward from a straight side raise. Good. Dumbbells down, back to curtsies. 3, 2, and 1. So I'm just going to cross it back, curtsy, and then stand tall. I still have 90% of my weight in that front leg. Make sure we're not bending our upper body forward. This is legs. We're trying to get those hips to do the work. 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. Back to side raises. Now you have options for side raises. 2 and 1. You can always bend your elbow 90 degrees, but notice that I don't lift my elbow and forget about my hands. I lift like I have something pressing on the outside of my elbow. I'm pushing it up and out of the way. Here's 2 and 1. One more set. So one more set of curtsies, and then again, we're going to the floor. You don't have to go to the floor. Here we go. So curtsy, and then bring it up. Front knee stays over those shoelaces. We're loading that outer glute. We should feel this kind of right in the outside of that hip. Good. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bring it in. Side raises. For our next circuit, you're going to want a light to medium weight. Here we go. So just kind of keep that in mind, whatever you pick. So shoulders away from the ears, just a soft elbow. I notice my left arm kind of likes to bend a little bit more. It's a little tight. Good. Dumbbells down. Walk around, grab a drink. Now for me, this is the end of heavy weights. So I'm going to put my heavy weights away. Well, I take that back. We're going to do chest presses. So I'll need heavier weights for chest presses when we get there. But the rest of my weights are going to be light to medium. We're going to do a prone rear fly. What does that mean? Hands and knees, rear fly. If you want to stay standing, it's good to try to get parallel to the floor. rear fly. Second exercise is a bird dog with a front raise. But if you're standing, again, forward fold, we're doing a front raise, but I want you to focus on the back of the shoulder for both of these exercises. So this is one hand on the countertop or the seat of the chair. This is focusing on back of the shoulder. Light to medium. I'm gonna grab a 3 to start with, and we'll see how it goes. So I'm gonna do the first 2 rounds right, so I'm gonna get 4 sets on the right side, and then I'll switch to 4 sets on the left. But we're gonna start with 20 seconds. So just nice, good hands and knees position. Standing is 100% an option, but try to get as parallel to the floor as you can get. Rear fly in 3, 2, and 1. So we're just gonna take it out and then back down again. You do not have to set the dumbbell on the floor and push the floor away. Soft bend in the elbow, and we just wanna think about lifting with the back of the shoulder. Shoulder blades relaxed, back of the hand lifts to the ceiling. Good. Now we're gonna take it to a bird dog. So I'm gonna do the same arm. My opposite leg is gonna reach back, and I'm gonna bring my thumb up towards the ceiling and down. Your time is on. This one is harder than you think it is, especially if you have tight shoulders. We should not be getting the arms super high. Most of us are not that flexible. I want you to think thumb up, arm parallel to the floor. Bring it down. You can do an I, or you can make it a little bit more of a Y. Good. Rest if that feels a little better for you. Come back in. I'm gonna do the same side. If your wrist is bothering you, switch hands. Here we go. So nice, good lift. Nice, good lower. Hello, kitty. Hi. Good. Lift and lower. Lift and lower. You're making things interesting. Hi. Yes. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Little rest. We're gonna add in that leg extension. We're gonna take that toe back. You can lift it off the ground if you wanna make it a little bit harder. Here we go. So thumb up and bring it down. Thumb up. This is from the shoulders, so we don't wanna do a lot of elbow bending with the lift. Just thumb up. Try to get to parallel to the floor. Like I said, I'm using a 3, and this is plenty. 3, 2, and 1. Bring it in. Super quick shakeout. I'm switching sides. If you did right, left, you're going back to right. Rear fly in 2 and 1. Good. Lift it up and bring it down. Lift and down. High. Yes, you are the star of the show. I know. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good. We're going to take that opposite leg, extend it out. Toe can be touching the floor. Your choice. 3, 2, and 1. And again, just thumb comes, and it does not have to get parallel to the floor. If your shoulders are really tight and you struggle to get your arm up and overhead when you're standing, you're probably gonna struggle to get your arm up and overhead here. So we just wanna think thumb up. Good. Rest. And we're gonna come back in. Nice, good rear fly position. If you're standing, just try to get your upper body as close to parallel as you can. Here we go. So lift it out to the side. Bring it in, out, and in. Body is nice and steady. We're still holding a good core position here. 4, 3, 2, 1. Little bit of rest. You can give the wrist a break. Take that leg back. So it's the opposite leg from the hand that's lifting. 2 and 1. So a little glute squeeze. Again, if you want to take the leg off the floor, hold it, you can. Otherwise, toe on the floor, a little more support. This is one you can also do body weight only if you need to. 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring it in. Little bit of a shakeout. We are going to go onto our sides. We're going to do a side leg lift, outer thigh, and then we're going to do a side leg lift, inner thigh. So we're going to do 2 rounds right, 2 rounds left. If you're standing, you can just do side leg lift, and then You can take your opposite leg and either kick the soccer ball, lift your inner thigh to the ceiling, or you can run your heel up and down your leg as high as you can with your knee kind of opened out to the side. Or you can kind of kick the soccer ball across the body to the corner, you choose. We're gonna take it all the way down. We're gonna see how this goes. So, first round, we're gonna do top leg. Nice good lift in 3, 2, and 1. So we just take that top leg, lift it up, and take it back down again. I want you to lift with the side of your leg. So check and make sure we're not letting our toe turn to the corner and our hip to open. Imagine your heel is attached to the wall behind you and you have to run your heel up and down that wall. 3, 2, and 1. I'm going to take my top leg, place it on the floor right behind my bottom leg, behind my knee. And then my bottom leg, same thing. I'm going to lift and lower. Your time is on. If this is uncomfortable for your hip, you can lift and hold. You don't have to do the lift and the lower, because what does our inner thigh usually do? It helps us hold that hip in, so you can lift and lower, or you can lift and hold. Good. 3, 2, and 1. Good. Now we're going to keep the bottom leg on the floor. Top leg is going to go straight again, and we're going to do the lift and the lower. Top leg. 2, and 1. If you want to make this harder, hold it at the top end of that lift. Doesn't have to be a pulse, but just find that top end and hold it up there. Lift and lower. Lift and lower. Good. 3, 2, 1. Top leg. I'm taking it behind, having that foot behind my bottom leg's knee. I'm going to think about lifting inner thigh up towards the ceiling and down. And same thing here. You can find that top end or take it up and hold it. And every few seconds, can you hold it a little higher? And then can you hold it a little higher? Really think about that inner thigh. 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. We're going to switch it over to the other side. Most of you can just roll over. I am going to change sides. 2, 1. Top leg. We're just going to lift and lower. And again, lift with your side glute, side hip. Don't let that toe rotate. Don't let the toe point towards the ceiling. I want your toe pointing forwards. If your hips are tight, your range of motion might be small, and that's okay. 2, 1. Good. I'm going to straighten my bottom leg, my top leg. I'm just going to kind of open that hip, set the foot on the floor right behind that knee, straighten out that bottom leg's knee, and I'm going to lift and lower. Lift and lower. If you choose to, lift and hold. Lift and hold. This is the side that lift and hold works great for me. I just have to really think about that leg position. Good. 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. I'm going to bend my bottom leg. I'm going to straighten my top leg. The bent bottom leg is just to help keep me stable. Stack my hips. 2, and 1. And just like the last round, if you want to make it a little bit harder, just find the top end of that lift. And your top end might be lower. Mine's a little bit higher, just depending what side, but I'm feeling it right where my side glute attaches to my torso. Good. 3, 2, and 1. Bring it in. Straighten the bottom leg, top leg. We're going to put that foot on the floor right behind the knee. 3, 2, and 1. Good. And then lift and lower, or again, lift and hold. So you get to that top end and you hold it. And then every few seconds, can you get that top end a little bit higher? And then we're going to go one more time. Can you lift it a little bit higher, keeping it close to that back leg? 2, 1. Bring it in. A little bit of a rest. All right. Next set. We have crunches and we have chest presses. So crunches and chest presses. Super basic. So we're going to take it all the way down onto your backs. If you're standing, you can do a standing crunch. You can do a weighted march. And then for the chest presses, a banded chest press is going to be your best bet. An incline push-up is an option, or sit in the front of your chair, lean back and do an incline dumbbell press leaning back into your chair. But we're gonna take it all the way down. If you wanna lift up into a bridge, you can, but I'm just gonna focus on my crunches and my chest presses. 20 seconds in 3, 2, and 1. Crunch and crunch. So we're just going to take a nice deep breath in, exhale, hold it up, and then take it back down again. There is not a lot of movement in your low back here. So we don't want to do a lot of lift the low back off the floor, pull the low back into the floor. We want to try to find a little rib tuck, exhale, torso to the ceiling. Good, rest. Grab your dumbbells. If you're like me and are a little heavy, please be careful picking up your dumbbells off of the floor. Good, here we go. Press it up and bring it down. So nice, good push. So we get used to that core position, that belly button pulled in, core braced. So really think ribs tucked in line with your hips. 3, 2, and 1. Good. Carefully set the dumbbell down. Mine rest on their sides, which is awesome. And I'm just going to do a nice good crunch. Good, time's on. Now you have an option to do a lift and a hold. So if you don't want to crunch up and down, you can lift and hold and treat it a little bit more like an isometric or a dead bug. Chin is a little bit tucked, looking towards the ceiling, not towards your knees. 3, 2, 1. Good, rest. Carefully grab those dumbbells. Go ahead and lift it up. 2, nice good chest press. So press it out and bring it in. And I know if you're doing banded chest presses, I would just hold on to your band while you're doing your standing crunch or your weighted march. 2 and 1. Good. Dumbbells down, or if you want to hold onto a dumbbell while you do your crunch, you can. I'm going to stick with body weight today. 2 and 1. So you can crunch it up and then take it down. So it's a little bit more movement at your rib cage versus at your low back and your belly. Torso lifts straight up towards the ceiling versus nose to knees. 2 and 1. Good. Carefully grab those dumbbells. So I like to do elbows a little bit to the corner. Here we go. Press it up and then take it down. And what I want you to think about is sometimes on the way down, we just try to take the end of our dumbbell to our chest and our thumbs come in. I want you to try to think about keeping your wrist in line with your elbows on the way up and the way down. Hi, are you really gonna do what I think you're gonna do? All right, carefully set the dumbbells down. Don't drop them on the cat. Good. All right, crunches. You've got one more set. Here we go. Crunch it up. Take it down. So nice, good exhale. Isometric if that is what you choose to do. If you don't want to do the flexion extension, then just take it up and hold it. 3, 2, 1. One more set. Chest presses. Carefully lift those dumbbells up. Low back into the floor, ribs tucked under. Press it up and then lower. Time's on. So nice good press up, a nice good lower. 3, 2, and 1. Good. Carefully set those dumbbells down off to the side. You can stay down on the floor on your back if you would like. All right, we're going to take our right leg out straight and we're going to pull our left knee into the chest. And you can do this sitting, you can do this standing. Standing, it's going to be a little bit of a different focus. But we're just trying to get a little bit of a hip stretch. So keep that right leg straight, as close to the floor as you can get, and then pull that knee into the chest. Good, switching sides. Left leg out straight, right knee, pull it in towards the chest. Your focus here is to keep that right or that left leg as straight as you can. So maybe you have to grab behind the thigh, because if you pull in front of the knee, it's going to pop that knee up off the floor. So I want you to keep that left leg straight, glued to the floor. Good. We're going to switch sides. So right leg out, left knee gets pulled in. Now we're going to take that left leg across the body. See if we can get that foot close to the floor. It does not have to touch. And then our left arm, we're going to take it palm up. So we kind of look a little bit like a pretzel. Our left side is opening up at the top, and then at the bottom, we're trying to get that leg across. So we're getting our shoulder and our knee as far away from each other as we can. 2, 1, bring it in, switching sides. Left leg straight. Right knee kind of comes in, and then we take our right leg across the body to the opposite side. Can we get our toe to the floor? Maybe we can get our knee to the floor, and then we take that arm, right arm, and we open it up, back of the hand facing the floor. Nice, good stretch. Good. 2 and 1. Bring it into the center. We're just going to pull both knees into the chest and give yourself a little bit of a hug. If you would like to lift your upper body and bring your nose towards your knees, you can. Otherwise, just pull the knees into the chest, a little bit of a low back stretch. I'm going to add a little side to side wiggle. 3, 2, and 1. And I'm going to rock myself up. So we're going to come to a seated position. You can rock to the side. You can just rock and roll yourself up to standing. Personal preference. Bottoms of the feet touching. Little butterfly stretch. Option to hinge it forward. So hinge at your hips, not at your belly button. And you can take your tummy. So think about taking your belly button forward a little bit more towards your toes. So it's kind of pressing out. Again, we're not arching our low back, and we're not pulling. We don't want to take our belly button away from our toes. We want to kind of move our belly button towards our toes. And for some of you, that might just be sitting up nice and tall. 2 and 1. Bring it in. We're going to flip it over, hands and knees. We're going to go for our child's pose. I'm going to try, can I elevate? Yes, I can. Talking to myself today. I'm going to elevate my child's pose a little bit because I want to go a little bit deeper into the stretch. I really focus on this one. A traditional child's pose is a little bit more back and spine. I am doing a little bit more of a variation, kind of like puppy. My focus is on stretching underneath my arms, where my torso and my arms attach. So right where my lats are, a lot of us are very tight in that area. Good. 3, 2, and 1. Go ahead and bring it back up. Walk your hands back towards your knees, hips towards your heels. We're going to come up to a half kneeling position. Feel free to come up to standing. We're going to tuck our tail, squeeze our glute, and just do that little bit of a push forwards. Can you tell that my floor is not level? So just a nice good hip flexor stretch, ribs tucked under. This is where we practice bracing that core. 4, 3, 2, 1. Switch it over to the other side. I'm really stretching our hips and a little bit of legs today because we did a lot of leg work, a lot of single leg work. So tuck your tail, squeeze your glute, little push forwards. Hi. Yes, this workout and stretch is all about her. It has nothing to do with you guys. Here's 2. And 1. We're going to come up to standing. So if you can, try not to put your hands on your thighs. We're going to bring it up to a standing position. This is why we practice things like this, so that when your pets are doing things like that, we can get up off of the floor. Good. Big breath. Hands behind the ears. Exhale, back of the hand into the small of the back. Good. So inhale up. Good, one more time. Inhale up, exhale down. Roll the shoulders up, back, and down into your back pocket, thumbs pointing forwards. Roll the shoulders down and back into your back pocket, ear to shoulder, side to side. Good, let's bring the head up, look to one side, look to the other. Bring it into the center, big breath in, spread the fingers, spread the toes, and exhale. One more time, big breath in, and out, and you are all done.